I'm going to do this real quick. It's Sunday. Celebration of Ishtar, or Astarte, or whatever other name you can assign it. Certainly has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. It has nothing to do with the resurrection. I'm going to show you the possibility of the resurrection on Sunday in just a moment. If you recall, the Pharisees asked Jesus for a miracle. And he said, you will only receive the miracle you already have, which you've already received. You will only as Jonah was in the belly of the Tanaim, so shall the Son of Man be.
The time is 9:06 a.m.
Wow. Trash. Thanks, Samsung. That's only the third or fourth time I pushed it. That's only the third or fourth time. Alright. Please. As Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Matthew 12:40. For as Jonah was in the belly of the Tanaim. By the way, Tanaim means dragon. The word means dragon, not whale. I mean, it could be a whale. It's possible because the word is there. But not likely. The most likely of which would be a carnivorous bottom feeder, because Jonah was laying on the bottom of the ocean. The weeds wrapped around his head. He was laying at the moorings of the mountains. The bars of the earth had closed around him forever. Out of the belly of Sheol he cried, and God lifted him out with his mighty right arm, and then the Tanaim spit him on the dry land. In the belly of the earth, 3 days and 3 nights. So, Passover sacrifice to Sunday, is that 3 days and 3 nights. All today, all over this great country of ours, foolish, unknowledgeable. You know, it says in Hosea, 13, that my people are destroyed for their lack of knowledge. So get ready today to celebrate your pagan festival of Ishtar, Astarte, which, as far as I can trace back, started in Babylon, but I don't know if it went deeper than that. But that's the record that we have. That's the record. So you go ahead, get your little Easter bunnies in your baskets full of grass, and I just wanted to remind you that why don't you take your children, like they did, and offer them to Milkram, or Molech, or Ishtar, or whatever one of the furnace baby killers that they built, while the music played in the background to drown out the screams of their children as they burned to death, slowly frying. So go right ahead, celebrate that, because you're Christians. Jesus did not rise on Sunday. And I've heard all about your special sacrifice nonsense and the month after, and that's just not what happened. Jesus said the words himself, 3 days and 3 nights. The Son of Man must be in the belly of the earth. 3 days and 3 nights. In order to set the captives free. My people are destroyed for their lack of knowledge. Oh yeah. Bible Hub. No results found. My people are destroyed for their lack of knowledge. Awesome. Google will find it though. My people are destroyed for their lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. You go right ahead. I tell you right now that I'm pissed. I am very, very angry. Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me. The Last Supper. The Passover. God said this is an ordinance for you to keep forever. As a reminder of where you came from. You think that you're any better than the Jews this morning? You're twice as guilty as they are. Shake and tremble, for you are twice responsible, for you have the knowledge.
Check out these pictures.
What? Tremble and fear in scriptures. Therefore, my beloved. Nope. Hold on. I'm pretty sure that it is in Romans 11. You really need to, if you're a Jew hater this morning and you claim to be a Christian, then you better read Romans 11. Lord, they've killed your prophets and torn down your altars. I am the only one left. And he said, I have reserved for myself 7,000 who have not bowed the knee to Baal. So too there is a remnant chosen by grace, and by grace that cannot be based on works. If it were grace, it would no longer be grace. What then? God gave them, he closed their eyes. That's Isaiah 6, by the way, where God closed their eyes and shut their ears so that they can't see. Did they stumble so as to fall beyond recover? Of course not. Rather, because of their transgression, salvation has come to the Gentiles, to make Israel envious. But if their transgression means riches for the world, and their loss means riches for the Gentiles, how much greater riches will their inclusion bring? Let me get down to this. Do not consider yourself to be superior to those branches. If you do, consider this. You do not support the root, but the root supports you. You will say, then branches were broken off so I could be grafted in. Granted, but they were broken off because of unbelief. You stand by faith. Do not be arrogant, but tremble. For if God did not spare the natural branches, great, he will not spare you either. Consider therefore the kindness and sternness of God. Sternness to those who fell, but kindness to you, provided that you continue in his kindness. Otherwise, you will also be cut off. And if they do not persist in unbelief, they will be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again. After all, if you were cut out of an olive tree that is wild by nature and contrary to nature, were grafted into a cultivated olive tree, how much more readily will these, the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? Brethren, I do not want you to be ignorant of this mystery, brothers and sisters, so that you may not be conceited. Israel has experienced a hardening in part until the full number of the Gentiles has come in, and in this way all Israel shall be saved. It is written, behold, from Zion the deliverer will come. So, I'm lifting up arrogant, the word arrogance right there. We are so disgustingly arrogant in our assumption that we know more than Paul. We know better. We go this morning in our pastel colored outfits and our new shoes, which I'm sure Walmart and Target thanks you. The nation of China and the nation of the United States of America, our little nation within the big nation. China and America equals at this very moment as we speak. China is building the biggest, the largest, and most powerful navy in the world. Hell, when Newt Gingrich was striking up a deal with China, they were hand digging missile silos. Our biggest enemy is our closest friend, Saudi Arabia. I mean, if you brothers and sisters cared enough to do 5 minutes worth of research, you'd see the wholesale destruction that Saudi Arabia is responsible for of our brothers, of the Christians that are being slaughtered by villages, not hut. They're slaughtering the whole population. For God's gifts and His calling are irrevocable. Just as you who were at one time disobedient to God have now received mercy as a result of their disobedience, so they too have now become disobedient in order that they may now receive mercy as a result of God's mercy to you. For God has bound everyone over to disobedience so that they may have mercy, so that He may have mercy on them all. You should read chapter 11 of Hebrews. Every one of you haters. You know what Jehovah's Witness said to me one time? I said to him, what about the Jews in Israel? He said they had their chance. And he said it with such disgust. That's the only word to describe it, disgust. He was disgusted at the very thought of Jews. Like, they're not reading the scriptures. Hebrews 2 just shuts them down. Hebrews 1 and chapter 2 shuts them down. It's over. What are you going to do, tear those pages out too? I'm not going to rail on them. But I can see you guys right now, you're dressing your daughters up in those pretty little dresses that you bought at Walmart and Target. And, now you're going to go and practice, in my opinion, the worst pagan festival there is. Look up how they took their newborn children and unborn children and threw them in the hands of these idols. You want to see it on Look up Ronnie James Dio's The Last in Line video. You want to see it in action? Go right ahead. Look it up. He built a working model. That's not the only one either. There was a couple videos that I saw years ago that show these idols. I'm going to lift Jesus up today. He is worthy. He is the one true God. He came in the flesh for a reason. Check out Hebrews chapter 2. And for all you people all you scoffers and negative, angry, looking for a reason to hate, basically he came in the flesh so that he could experience all of the things that we experience. So that you couldn't say, you don't know what I'm going through. You ain't been there. He has. He suffered every temptation, including homosexuality, drug addiction, lust, everything. And he did not fall for it. He overcame it. To show us that we too can overcome. It might not be as simple as we like it to be. But then, when is anything that's worth something? I'm willing to bet that you went all out for your girlfriend. Most of us would do whatever we could. I know it sounds stupid, but I'm doing the best I can. I want to cry. Nice, right? 22.32%. Cops came in the other day. I showed it to them. It was amazing. It's the first time the police ever handed me back marijuana. All of this evidence is readily available online, but I'm willing to bet that you don't want to research it because you don't want to know the truth. I've been blasting about this on Facebook or whatever, Instagram. I've been blasting this out because, quite frankly, there's an alternative. One of the things in prison is if you get caught hiding your medications, hoarding it, selling it, whatever, they take it. Okay, now I did a lot of study on that because, well, I wasn't selling or nothing, but I couldn't take it during the day. Especially I was working, they'd come at 4 o'clock in the morning and give you your night meds. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I would take it at night. Anyway, got caught. Took the meds, looked it up in Constitution gives you the right to your medication, no matter what. Because there's an alternative method available, which was mouth checks, or crushing it up. So I got my meds back, but it took a minute's worth of research. And I didn't have a computer. You have a computer in your hand right now. And believe me, back in the day, these computers, this one right here, this piece of junk I'm on right now, would be worth over $1,000. But anyway, these very powerful computers that you hold in your hand right now, if you just look it up, look up Semiramis and Nimrod, look up Tammuz, look up Ishtar, Astarte, and even Alahat has some part to play. Much, much older than the discovery. Apparent. Well, you know what? Here's the thing about that. I'm going to go on that for a second. Alahat, Allah. Look it up in the word in the Hebrew. Look up the syllables. Look exactly what it means. And I think you'll be surprised a little bit. It's not one God. It does not mean one God. So stop saying that, Christians. Nope. Elohim means one God for us. Adonai Elohim, Adonai Elohim. Hold on. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad, Adonai Eloheinu. It means what exactly it is supposed to mean. Oaken idol. Which is exactly what Muhammad found in Kaaba. 430 of them. I know. I do know. Because I did the research. Because I've read 3 different versions of the Quran. Because people said, well, that's not the right Quran to read. So, I read a different one. And then finally the green one with the beautiful gold letter. Beautiful book. Very pretty. Aesthetically pleasing. But, what does that mean? You cannot judge a book by its cover. Look up that word Allah. Look up the word Allah. Find out what the origins of that idol is. Alachat. You know it. Quite frankly, some people have been extremely brainwashed, but others use this as an excuse to practice their filth, their monstrosity, the demonic entities that dwell within them. It's easy to use that religion. It's easy to use anything, really. I mean, it has nothing really just to do with religion, but when you use the religion to further your poison, that is some deep, deep stuff right there. But, quite frankly, look, you can't tell me that I didn't check it out, that I did not do my due diligence. I did. The same with the scriptures. I tore it apart. I wanted to disprove it. To this day, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be on this planet. I don't want to be in this reality, this dimension, whatever it is. Whether or not we're still just, technically we could just be in God's mind yet. If God was, not if, God is powerful enough to speak existence into existence, then what do we know? How dare we? You arrogant. That's what the scripture just told us. How arrogant we are. You had to have it in some kind of a... Anyhow. Yeah, I'm half hour late for church. I'm going to church. But in protest. It has me extraordinarily upset. Because I can see those children being thrown to those idols, into the flames. And this is a fact also archaeologists have discovered. One of these idols with millions of babies' remains, skulls and such. Millions. Look it up. Do 5 minutes on your mighty computer in your hand. Do 5 minutes. Thank God for archaeologists. Thank God for that. That's what I would have done. if my mother and father gave a shit, if they cared about my education, you know. The same way with my daughter. She's brilliant. She has a mind like a trap. Nothing gets by her. But I could definitely see her as CEO somewhere. I don't think that she would have been a nice person, CEO, but I know that she would have made it. That was my fault. I admit it. I trusted the wrong words. In the name of Jesus, today I'm going to stand up and walk. I'm going to rise up and walk. And I'm going to go to church. And I'm going to get high. And I'm going to pray that Jesus Christ would show me one way. The truth. Isn't that what you want? Don't you want the truth? Huh? The ugly truth beats the beautiful lie any day. Every day I get a security alert. So take 5 minutes. Go look it up. One of you's got to know out there. And please don't try that the same way that we explained let us make man in our image and in our image and likeness. Let us create him. But we explained that away, didn't we? Didn't we? Of course we did. That's what we do. We do that because that's what we've learned and been taught to do by Satan. That's right, Satan. Satan changed the Sabbath. Satan changed the Sabbath, and we still celebrate Satan's Sabbath. To this day, we celebrate Satan's resurrection day. Because Jesus was not resurrected on Sunday. You're free to believe whatever you want to believe. God gave you that right. But eggs, chickies, grass, and all that other nonsense has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. So go right ahead. Have fun. Celebrate your pagan festivals. Get your eggies. Teach your children this horrible, horrible holiday. Teach it to your kids. Disobey and disrespect God's word. Because if he says to do something forever, right? What does that mean to you? I just read to you the Jews and the Gentiles are on the same level with God. He commanded them to do something. It falls on us now because we were grafted into that vine. So, congratulations, brothers and sisters. In the last days, at the very last moment, on the doorstep, Jesus is knocking. And we're still going to disrespect and blow him off no matter what. I'm not exempt. I always thought I'm going to go through this tribulation. Because it's coming. Right there. You're going to turn your head one day and it's going to be next to you. You're going to wake up one morning and it's going to be at your doorstep. They're going to be taking your possessions, kicking you out of your homes. You won't be able to pay for anything. Including insurance or nothing. So, praise God.